He's a Fulbright Scholar at Stanford University this year. He was previously a research fellow at the Dublin Institute of Technology, and it's in the Dublin, Ireland.
Unfortunately.
He is an Italian award-winning architect and designer. So, you know, between Ireland and Italy, that explains his accent. Okay? He earned a PhD from the University of Genoa and Valdenberg University in the UK. He joined the Environmental Sustainability and Health Initiative at the Dublin Institute of Technology and focused his research and work on user experience design as a tool for improving people's quality of life. During his career, he has developed 2 patents, received 6 international awards, and has been a guest lecturer and speaker worldwide and now including this class. So let's give a warm Stanford welcome to him.
Thank you so much. Well, first of all, thanks to David that offered me this opportunity. And thanks for your understanding for my pretty weird accent, which is mixed by Italian, a bit of English, which is gone now, and a lot of Dublin accent. It's the Dublin where it rains a lot. So that's why I said, unfortunately, people are very nice there, but it rains too much, and so that's why I wanted to move here. So, no, I'm joking. I wanted to move here because of David. I'm joking again. David is a really cool guy, but I moved here because I wanted to learn what David is doing, what Larry Leifer is doing, what people at CDR are doing. So, I'm an architect. I have a PhD in industrial design, and I'm trying to make people's life better, including mine, obviously. So we are talking about environments for older adults. And older adults, well, we know about the number of people who are aging are going to increase a lot. It seems that in 2050, in most of the developed countries, there will be more than 30% over 60 years old. And this means a lot in terms of spending on the healthcare system, especially for Europe. I know here is a bit different. I'm discovering how it works here. But also the healthcare and welfare system is going to change dramatically. So what's going on? Okay, a lot of older people, a lot of middle-aged people, but at the same time, there is a huge amount of work done on the Internet of Things and the new kind of technologies that are available on the market. So just to throw some numbers, we are now at the tip of the iceberg because we are talking about 17 billion connected devices all over the world last year, and people are saying that there are going to be something like 22 billion connected devices in 2025. I think 22 billion are going to be on the market next year, not in 2025, so in 1 year time. And I wanted to show this video because we are talking about technology, but this is how older people are behaving with technology. So, David, I should press something else?
There's a play button.
Oh, yes. Perfect.
Oh, this is hilarious.
I'm glad to meet you. Hello,
This is a real video.
Hey, you're okay. That's not the phone. You have to say hey, or okay.
Hey, Goo-goo. Okay, Goo-goo.
Yeah.
What's the weather, guys?
What the weather? You want to know what is the weather? Tomorrow.
In Flagler Beach tomorrow, there will be showers with a high of 65 and a low of 56.
An old grandma from Italy.
Oh my gosh.
That's Google to play an Italian song.
Goo-goo. Hey, Goo-goo. Hey, okay.
Tomorrow in London, it will be sunny with a high of 41.
seconds are the limit.
Lola, ask her to play your favorite song.
Play your favorite song.
Cuckoo! Cuckoo!
Yeah, you're cuckoo, all right?
Play a song for me. Piemontesina bella.
Here's the thing.
Addio dei giorni passati. Addio.
So, okay, you don't have to tap it first. But to wake it up, you have to either say, hey, Google, or okay.
Hey, cuckoo. Okay, cuckoo.
And then
Hey, the Italian
so
song.
it has to light up after you say that, otherwise it didn't hear you correctly.
You know that salame perché io I get it.
You're stupid, because I can understand everything I'm saying to you.
Hello, cuckoo.
Okay or okay?
Okay. Do it.
So that's what is really happening out there. So we have how many? 17 billion connected devices, but families are behaving in this way. So I wanted to show this video just because she's not my grandma, my Italian grandma, but she's very funny. And I just wanted to show you what are the real troubles for older people, but not only for them, in using the new technology. So I wanted to try to make you feel as uncomfortable as she was in that video. So imagine to have a look at a website, okay? These look pretty nice, especially because I have my glasses. If not, if you want to feel like a grandpa and have, for example, a reduced ability to focus, like I basically have without that, then you would look at the website in this way. So you see everything is a bit blurred, you can't read pretty well, and that's not just a matter of being an older person, but it's just a matter of having some reduced ability to focus. So like I have. Right now, I can't clearly see your faces, so I need to use glasses. But let's move forward. If you have high glare sensitivity, this is how the website is going to look like. And if we move a bit more, you can see if you have low contrast sensitivity, you basically don't detect the images clearly and the icons and some of the text. But if we move into the proper degenerative kind of illnesses that older people are developing through their course of life, glaucoma is pretty common among older people. And this is how it looks like. On the other hand, macular degeneration is very common, especially above 65, 70 years old. So my grandma has this kind of issue. And she probably look at if she would look at this website, this is what she would see. And if we move again, we have a different area of sensing. So we are not talking about seeing, but we are talking about hearing. What can you hear now? Nothing. Welcome to the deaf world. And imagine if you want to climb stairs that are too big for you. If you are a child, like this boy here, you have issues in climbing stairs. But if you are maybe 70 or 80 years old and you have problems with your junctions, you basically feel like him. Imagine to open jars with working gloves. How can you do that? But if you still not feel what are the challenges that these people are facing, well, you can buy this Age Explorer suite developed from the Mayer Henschel Institute in Germany that basically make you feel like some of the older person with some certain impairments. So you may experience some sight loss, some sound, and so hear loss issues, mobility issues, so lack of movements. So probably if you would wearing that suit, you can't do that easily, but you can do just this. Touch. by wearing gloves, you can easily experience what an older person with arthritis or with issues with blood circulation might feel. And obviously you can experience some kind of walking issues. So how can we address these challenges or needs? Depends how we want to call. We are talking about need finding here at CDR, at the D-School, challenges. That's pretty curious actually, but if we move forward and we go back to the area of Internet of Things and technologies. Okay, we are in a course of assistive technologies. And if we think about the indoor environment, it's now plenty of devices, pretty cheap devices that can actually help you in feeling safer in your home, that enhance the connection with your family members and friends, that enhance your comfort zone, so you don't have basically to do anything anymore in your house, just because you have technologies. But let's just see very briefly what these technologies can do. So for example, you can have robot companions like the Jibo robot companion developed a couple of years ago and now on the market. You can have something like a robotic vacuum cleaner, so you don't have to swipe your floor anymore. Smart washing machines, smart ovens that basically detect what you want to cook automatically. Smart thermostats, smart smoke detectors, everything connected with the internet. So everything is connected. You can basically understand how you want to feel in your house while you are not in your house. So we have smart lighting systems. You can use smart plugs in order to turn an old creepy device into something smarter, so you can control that device with your phone while you are at work, and so on. We can have smart lockers, so Dave, when he will be watching the football match on Sunday, and when you will order your pizza, you don't have to stand up from your sofa and open the door to the pizza guy, but just unlock the door with your smartphone. So cool, yeah? We have wearable devices. They can detect if you fall down, your blood pressure, your ECG right now, your heart rate. But this could be a scenario of a possible kitchen where if we embed most of the technologies that I show you in this in the last few minutes, your kind of kitchen will look to something like that. Your living room will be plenty of technology. So you have robotic devices, robot companions, wearables, robotic vacuum cleaners, smart lights, smart speakers, everything with the word smart or connected or IoT will be pervading your environment. Even the bedroom, which is probably the most private room you have in your house, or maybe the restroom. So every single room in your house might be connected. But actually, again, I want to bring you back to the earth, to the reality. The reality is that one. So we are not currently living in houses like the pictures I just showed you before, but that's the reality of our grandma, grandpa, but even our reality. So it can be different often. And so my question, and it's just an open question, you can answer in the way design thinking helps people to answer, with very open answers. How can we design solutions to make people feel like those two guys here? Do you know? One answer? 10 answers?
I'd have to talk to a lot of people who are older and their ideas on what technology might offer them.
Exactly. Or if we go a step behind, maybe not what technology, but what they really want for their lives. maybe those two people are super happy with their smartphone taking a selfie, going to surf in Half Moon Bay with their Mini Cooper, and that's all. But maybe that's not the reality. Maybe their own emotions, their own feelings are completely different because they are not feeling comfortable with that technology, for example. Who knows? So I just took this sentence from, do you know Frog Design? Is one of the most famous design consultancy in the world, almost like IDEO. That is just back at the corner here. And I just wanted to read a couple of keywords because I think they are important to understand. So we have to take advantage as innovators and designers to the transformative impact that great design and emerging technologies might have for the aging population, and I would add, not only for them, but for all of us. Because imagine, if we are going to solve issues of a population that basically have many different diseases, or many different abilities, or many different disabilities, like the few one I showed you before. If you take the design and the product that is going to work for them, and you kind of take the abstract vision of that product and you enlarge the functionalities to a wider group of people, so to the wider population, that means that the product is going to work for all of us. So in a few words, with some examples, I wish to talk to you about this concept that for me, well, for my career helps a lot, because well, we have been through this concept probably many times during the last few lectures. You're going to probably listen to that again with the next speakers. But usability and ergonomics are some of the most important features you have to take into account when you design a solution, a service, or a product, or an environment for the aging population. And within usability, there are many different areas, and I want to show you some examples about that. So I think you probably know the definition of usability, but if you take that from the ISO standard, which is the International Standardization Organization, that defines usability as the extent to which a product can be used by specified users. And I'm not completely agreeing with that definition, because specified users can be misleading, but anyway, to achieve specified goals with effectiveness, efficiency, and satisfaction in a specified context of use. So here we are going back to what the last speaker, last Thursday, was talking about: satisfaction, the cool effect, efficiency, and effectiveness. So basically, form, fit, and function, the equation of the 3F, it's embedded in the concept of usability. So one example could be why all the technologies we have around us can be as easy as a garage door opener. So you have a remote control like this with 1 or 2 buttons. One opens, one closes the door. That's all. Easy. You press one, open, you get with the car, you press the second button, it closes. Well, it may be a simple, elegant solution, but sometimes things are a bit more complex. So if we go back to the main reason why I'm trying to transfer to you an idea today, which is thinking about where we live, we're spending more than 50% of our time in a built environment, so indoor. In particular, this 50% is spent in your homes, okay? So imagine you sleep 7 or 8 hours, you eat, you have a shower, you relax, and then you go to the office. So the built environment is basically the space where where people are feeling comfortable or uncomfortable in. So one of the first principles of the usability is about navigation and familiarity. So for example, if we see at these 3 pictures, okay, This principle refers to how easy it is for us to get into an environment, for example, and how it's easy for users to accomplish basic tasks like getting into this building or getting into your house or getting into your room. So one example is that probably not so many people think about, because you just say, well, it's normal, it has to be like that. But I suggest you go around your city, go around your house, and see if actually everywhere could be accessible by a wheelchair, by a walker, by a trolley, or by a, for example, a mom with a baby and a carry-on with a baby, or just if you have a luggage. So navigation and familiarity, if I can easily access to an environment, well, means that the first criteria of usability is met. This works also with the indoor environment. So how can you climb steps? Well, if you can, avoid to design steps into your house. Use elevators, use escalators, use other things, or simply think about a different way of placing rooms on one level instead of two levels, for example. The second principle is about consistency. So this is a kitchen designed in 2006, if I'm not wrong. You can check, or 4. Anyway, a couple of years, many years ago. It's a kitchen designed by an Italian company, and this has been considered, at least in Europe, as one of the first accessible design kitchen. Why? Because if you look on internet, on YouTube, there are a lot of videos. By the way, it's called Skyline Kitchen from a company called Snidero, so S-N-A-I-D-E-R-O, which allows people on a wheelchair, people with a walking height, or people just wanted to sit and cook for themselves, to actually sit and go around all the kitchen, because there are no constraints. Everything can be moved. Everything is on the wheels. Another aspect is that you can adjust the height of your working surface. So you can basically decide, if I want to cook by standing, this is probably for me the best height for my working area. But if I'm sitting because I'm tired and I want to cook, this is not the perfect height for me. So that concept of flexibility, and also in this case consistency. So imagine we are used to use different kind of kitchens, okay? But when users return to that design after of a period not using it, how they can easily engage and reestablish proficiency in using this kind of kitchen. So I'm guessing that if you probably are happy with using this kitchen, you will feel that this kitchen has a good consistency level in the scale of usability. But if you go back to your old kitchen, you're not going to like that anymore, probably. I mean, try it if you can. And this is a model that is sold, but I just want to bring you at your brain the thinking model behind the people that designed this kitchen. And it's similar to what the CDR is about. So how the CDR has been designed as a flexible space where everything can be moved. Tables, walls, maybe doors in the future, not now. But that concept is around flexibility. How can this kitchen can be used by a wider range of people, not users? Because we are talking about real persons. Yeah? Another thing, well, error prevention and feedback. You might probably be aware that, for example, with a device, with a smartphone or with a tablet or with a wearable device, the tolerance of errors is pretty important. And it's the same story in a built environment. Imagine that you have an IoT device that, for example, like the Nest thermostat, doesn't give you any way of changing his own decision because, I don't know, you placed minimum temperature in your house, 64, 68 degrees, but the nest is programmed just to hold a different kind of temperature. How can you easily fix that issue? How can you easily change that inner bug or that inner kind of issue around what you feel you want to have in your house? What's the temperature you really want to have? Another example is about visual clarity. So, and it relates a lot with affordances. So, this chair looks like a chair, sorry. And what is the main function of this device? What do we use a chair for? Yeah? Exactly. Why? But why do we have to use something like that and not a table? If I sit on a table, my legs are now getting tired. So ergonomics, yeah? And what about that one? So this is a handle, and what is that? So we are talking about visual clarity because what you see is what you get. What you see is what you understand. But if you are not trained to understand what you are seeing, how can you understand that this product, for example, so this push-pull handle is going to be designed to suggest you that if I have a handle like this, I have to do this movement. And if I have that one, I have to push. Same story with the chair. Why are we using a chair to sit and not a table? Maybe people who are 6.5 foot tall might prefer to sit on a table because their legs and their feet are touching the floor. And maybe this chair for me is not high enough because, I don't know. So, flexible chair, adjustable chair, I don't know. But visual clarity is important. And I have a question for you. In the last couple of years, I've been around the States a bit, and I was very curious to interact with different kind of taps and different Airbnbs, hotels. Not that many because I couldn't afford to go to nice hotels, but I have to be sincere. These are mostly taken by Airbnbs. So, anyway, so taps. The first time I got here, I almost got burnt because I didn't know how to use a tap. Because in Europe we have very different taps. So, according to your experience, okay, can you see the numbers? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Which is easier to use?
I had a number 5 faucet and I found that really easy to use until it broke. And then another faucet with 2 handles, which...
So number 1.
Yeah, number 1 is no good. Number 5 was better than number 1.
I saw a couple of people over there. 1, 4, 1, 4 and 1. Okay. What about over here? 1. Oh, that's the table. Oh no, that's not the table 1, but it's the table 1 and 4. And here, 1. Interesting.
That's the right answer.
For me. Okay, I have another question. How can I understand which is hot water and which is cold water? Left or right? We are talking about number 1, okay? Which is warm, which is hot, and which is cold?
I got my
We
trial
just
and
tested.
Oh, nice. So you are testing. Sorry?
Right. Convention. No, you tested.
Convention. So this means that you are trusting the unbelievable and the not understandable. I mean, imagine that you travel to Europe and you see that kind of tap in Italy. So you open, you try if it's hot or cold, and oh, no, it's hot, I can't use it. I just need to call 911 and go to the hospital, but that's fine. I mean, from my perspective...
But the water doesn't usually go hot like 100%. Still warm it up.
Yeah, but if you use this one or that one, I turn it on, and when I place my 1 inch of my finger, it got super burnt because it was completely hot.
Well, those are kind of dumb.
Because these two, and also that one, they work on the principles that you have to turn completely in order to get the water going. And then you select the temperature. Is that right? The first time I was basically pulling or pushing and then turning for the temperature. But it was not working. I said, what? I spent 20 years designing, building, thinking about how to develop something usable, and now I can't use a tap here. I'm not joking. That was my feeling. I felt like I threw away a lot of money for my master, my PhD, my primary school, well, my parents actually, because I didn't throw away anything about my time. But so, from my point of view, that one, number 4, at least tells you where is red and where is blue. So at least I know that I may just take the handle here, pull up towards me, and then regulate hot and cold. Is that true?
Well, that angle of the photo is confusing because it's hard to tell. The reason I didn't go for that is because normally hot water will be at the end of the turn instead of like at the beginning of
Which way
Really?
is the candle pointed?
number 4.
Now the water is off. So right now the water is not
Yeah, but
going.
if you turn it clockwise a little bit,
But-
Shall I
the
get-
candle, the point, and it's on the red to tell you what temperature it is, or do you want to, or is it the
Oh,
other?
okay, wait, it's too complicated. I need to use my brain. So this is the handle. If I'm turning the handle like this, I might get hot or cold.
Well, that's supposed to. I mean, according to the color, is hot, but most whatever devices is at the end is the hot one. Like it doesn't start at hot.
So, okay, she's basically saying for the people at the back that if I turn this handle over here and this is pointing towards red, should I get hot water? And if I turn towards the right, blue, I will get cold. Opposite. When I turn here, there was cold water because this was pointing here
Oh.
and this was cold. And when this was over here, I was getting hot water. I'm not kidding. I have the video, I can show you. I can't show you that I was burning my hand, but you can see my hand that was almost red. So,
Be a pointer on the end.
Yeah.
there should be a pointer for true, but also there should be, at least, these two colors should be inverted.
Yeah, exactly.
But we are coming back to the idea that red is on the left, so hot is on the left, and cold is on the right. And so here, the clarity, we were talking about clarity, 2 minutes ago, visual clarity. Over there is no clarity. I mean, it's super misleading. And so, that's another factor. Culture, maybe behavior, maybe, I don't know, dots, that can change the way you use just a tap in your house. So my advice is, when you go to Europe, please pay attention when you open the tap. And flexibility and efficiency. Well, have you ever seen something like that in kitchens? Never. No one has seen something like that.
Yeah, I know that they're available, and you can probably get them and have them installed in your kitchen, and probably it's pretty expensive to do.
It might be. There are two versions. One motorized and one without, that just work with a push-pull system of pistons. And the nice thing is that if you're sitting, if you're standing, you can still reach where your plates and your stuff are in your drawers or in your kitchen. But there are easier systems like that. They are just folding down and you can actually use it. So here the keyword I would use is about flexibility in how a project is efficient towards your needs and your challenges. And there we are getting closer to the most valuable one. Can you guess or can you remember the big usability slide at the beginning, which was the last one at the very far end? Guess it. We have been talking about a lot of stuff. Which is the most important? It's embedded in the concept of usability, but what matters a lot, if something is usable and something is also cool and people are
Efficiency?
satisfied, at the end you will get your product rewarded. And so the users will be happy to use your product or your house or your service. So this is simply a vacuum cleaner, nothing more. It doesn't do anything more than taking off some dirty from the floor. But why this Dyson? It's so cool. Why?
Different.
Looks cool. Maybe the way you handle it has a good balance of weight, so you don't suffer, hurt, or you don't get tired by using this kind of Dyson for a long time. The way you are pressing the button is kind of a playful way, like maybe like a gun or like a water sprinkle. No, when the hose, yeah, water hose. So you add the playful component into your design, and then it looks cool. Exactly. So I just want to mention a couple of things about how can we enhance satisfaction. Have you ever seen the salt and pepper dispensers? They are designed by an Italian designer. They are called Hugh Salt and Pepper. Almost everyone is laughing. Why? So you are feeling pleasant emotion or unpleasant?
Pleasant.
And you're still able to use them. I mean, you can still put some salt or pepper in your meal. What about that one? You know what is that? Philip Stark. It's made by the Italian company Alessi. Juicy Salif is called, from Lemon Squeezer by Philip Stark. It's super cool. Imagine to have a 50K kitchen, maybe 100K, super cool kitchen, minimal design, LED lights, black marble, and this super cool device on your working surface. But if you're going to squeeze a lemon, the juice is not going to go there, but it's going to go on your marble working surface. I can tell you that. Try it. It's very cheap. You can buy the non-original one for a couple of bucks, maybe $20. Try it. Your juice is going to be everywhere, but not in your glass. Or let's say most of the juice will be somewhere else. Corkscrew. Who does like wine? Stand up your hands, guys. Californian wine, Italian wine. Yeah, come on. Just 1, 2 guys. No one is drinking here. You're all above 21. Stand up the hands, please. Okay, beer, I know, Bud Light and so on. Guinness? Any Guinness drinker? Yeah?
I went to Ireland.
Cool. I'm not a great drinker of Guinness anyway. Again, Alessi, Italian manufacturer. Corkscrew by the most famous Italian designer, Alessandro Mendini. He's one of the master of Italian design. This works amazingly. I can tell you, I've tried. It costs too much, I don't have it, but I've tried in the showroom. It works perfectly. And look how it's nice. It makes you laugh. So I have some question, but I don't know the answer because I don't know why. And the most important research question you can ask in your life is always why, not how. Why most of our houses are not completely and easily accessible. It's just a matter of cost, maybe knowledge. People are not aware that they can implement the house with a cost-effective strategy. Well, these look cool. This house looks pretty nice. It seems to be pretty accessible. No steps. You can walk around the kitchen. You can bring your trolley with some bags and some stuff from Target or the supermarket. So I'm not sure, but I'm just throwing these words towards you, and I hope they will not bounce back, but they will bounce into your brain a lot. So we are here to gain knowledge. I'm here to gain knowledge. You are here to get your degree, but at the same time, you're here to build the biggest opportunity of your life. Understand what's going on out of these walls. Knowledge. Awareness. You have to be aware about everything around you. How you behave, how he's behaving towards you. What is written down here? Is that my history? It seems like, when you're going to die, they write you a couple of words, and I'm feeling close to that moment. But anyway, learn and be aware. Obviously, usability. If things are not going to work, we have to reinvent our job, or we have to reinvent the way we do our job. So the way we design products. Things have to be accessible. So there are two ways of designing. One is the accessible way in order to create a product that is going to work for as many people as possible. The other one is the design, for example, of a Lamborghini, $250,000. This is not accessible for everyone because the concept behind is exclusivity. Different way of thinking, but at the end, it's about your choice. And at the end, it's about ergonomics too. But I think the most important word is design. So that's it's all about. So the power is in our hands. We can only decide what we want to do with our life, but if we are designers, with other people's life. That's important to remember. And I just want to thank you all. Remember this sentence: good design enables, and if you don't wear glasses like me, bad design disables. Thank you all for your time. Thanks, David, for the opportunity.
Thank you for coming all the way from Ireland and Italy just to be with us today. But, I have a question, and just want to get your thoughts. You showed all the IoT equipment for a home, every room in the home, and you talked about robotics and stuff. How is this really going to play out? Are we going to all have houses that are fully instrumented like that, and are we going to have human-sized robots taking care of us? How do you think it's going to happen?
I feel a big weight on my shoulders with this answer.
No, you can guess.
But
It's okay.
first, I don't know. Second, I can guess. And I can guess that if we are going to be full and fill up our houses with a lot of IoT devices, probably most of the people will become disabled in terms of we are losing the capacity to do the stuff by our own initiative. So we have to be very careful and about placing 99.9% kind of technology in our houses, or carefully choose what is really a need and what is really something not essential. So maybe this is the answer, but again, it's open.
You also have to worry about, when this stuff breaks, so
Absolutely.
if you're dependent on something and it breaks, then you're going to be lost for a while.
Yeah, so when you mentioned that, it was just funny. NPR was just talking about today about all these autonomous cars increase the fixing costs. You have a fender bender,
Yeah.
used to be costing whatever $100 sensor, you have to recalibrate and all that. And then all the body shop need to buy these additional computer devices in order to fix smart cars. Yeah, so how does that apply to smart devices in the house?
Well, that's an interesting question because yesterday we were talking with Larry, with a group of people for research, and the question is, if we are if our house and our cars are fully automated, full of sensors, and we can get a continuous check of what the status of our house, then in some way the technology can fix itself automatically, or at least aware the technician that there is a problem.
Well, what if that monitor breaks?
If that breaks, and we are not able to fix that because not everyone is a computer scientist or a mechanical engineer or a thermodynamics engineer, well, we are going to be in trouble. So my answer to the question is a concept I'm developing right now, and I'm on the way of writing a book, which is called City Designer. So enable all the citizens to be the designers of their own solutions. How we can do that? Developing flexible and easier designs and easier objects in a way that can be adjusted and modified and perhaps fixed by ourselves. So it's a very close concept to the DIY. And it's an example quickly. Apple, you go to Apple Store, you see a lot of these Apple jigs having a pretty old iPod or iPhone 4 or iPhone 5 with a bigger case around, or maybe an old iPad. Well, Apple is taking our old devices and transforming them for an easy function, which is a vending machine for those people, embedding a bigger battery pack for for lasting longer, and that's the way I can reuse a device by just changing the software, for example. So how can you fix and reimagine the life of your product? Well, it's about designers, so it's about us.
Okay. Thanks once again.
Thank you.